Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to a video that I'm doing for some assemblage required using a bunch of products from the shop. This is also Series 17, 30 Days of Sketches. This is a sketch actually by MK, and it was actually for yesterday, or actually Sunday the 23rd, but I didn't get it edited and voiced in time, so I'm putting it up late because I figured you probably still want to see it. So I'm starting out with this piece of scrap paper that I have. It is a light colored wood grain, a little more on the cartoony side than regular wood grain, but it's okay because I'm just looking for the tan because I'm going to cover it with a bunch of sand. And I don't know that it's actual sand. It's actually a product called Mud Puddles. And surprisingly, they still have a website. It's been in my stash for a very, very long time. It's mudpuddles.net, and the mud is spelled with 2 D's. The one I am using is called Summer Mud Puddles. And like I said, I've had it for a long time, probably at least 7 or 8 years. Yeah. And so I thought, you know what? I need to use this stuff. So I am just using my paintbrush to brush on some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. Probably could have gone with a little thicker coat than what I did because I ended up having to go over it with a little bit of Nouveau Deluxe so that some of it wouldn't flake off. Most of it stayed on really well. There were just a couple spots where my application of glue was just a little bit on the thin side, and I needed to go ahead and go over it to make it a little bit I needed to make it thicker, basically. So I am doing a ton of die cutting on this layout. This became a very expensive layout because I broke my sidekick. Yeah, that was fun. So I ended up ordering a new machine, but I ended up with this ordering the Stampin' Up! One because I wanted something that had a little bit bigger of a platform because I have a lot of dies that just barely fit. Like these boot dies that I'm cutting right now, they go right to the very edge and they don't cut the very tip of the boot. But the Stampin' Up! Platform is like an inch wider and a couple of inches longer, I believe. And so that's what I went with. I decided to go ahead and invest in something a little bit bigger. It saves me having to pull out my switch every time, which is a lot bigger, and is not conveniently located right next to my desk. I can still pick the Stampin' Up! One up right off my Rascog cart and pull it to my desk and die cut stuff. But yeah, this layout took me quite some time. Besides breaking my machine, I actually have another sidekick that a friend had given me, but the pressure on it is not quite right. So I was having to shim things left and right to finish this layout up. And that is actually not why it's a little bit late in going up on my channel. I just did not have time to edit or voice it over because it is a little bit longer of a video, as you can see. It is almost 18 minutes long, which I don't do videos that long very often, but and I did have to cut out quite a bit of die cutting because the video was like 45 minutes long, you guys. It was really long. So I did show you some because I am inking up these boots and I wanted to show you how I'm getting the different colors. You could have easily probably cut the base layer out of black instead of inking it up, but I didn't want it a solid black. I wanted it to have a little bit of grunge to it, so I inked it up, and then I inked up the middle layer with some walnut stain, and then I left the top layer plain. And then I am using some navy blue paper, which actually has a print on it. It's got little, it looks like house outlines. But I'm using that for my shoelaces. You can't see the outlines you can't tell what the pattern is by the time it gets cut so thin. And so I wanted to stay with the blues and some pinky purples for this layout because I am documenting more photos of our day trip that we did in September. It wasn't a day trip. It was an overnight trip that we did with our dog. So this was for my husband had a work event, and if you may remember, I took her to San Francisco. That's where his work event was, and then we went up to a place called Tomales Bay where his work was actually having a picnic. They do like an oyster feed. That area is, you can buy the oysters fresh right there, and then they did an oyster feed and potluck type deal. So we went and did that. So here are all of the pieces that I've die cut that you didn't get to see me die cut. But those are the ones that I did die cut. I'm using 2 pieces of paper of P13 Soulmate, which has been in my stash for quite some time. And I'm looking for some 3x4 cards or something like that to kind of create more of a vertical interest. I don't want that kind of stair step look of going up the sides, because if you look at MK's, that's mostly where her embellishments are going up the 2 sides. And so I wanted to do something similar. I didn't do any mixed media on my background other than adding all of that sand to the strip across the bottom, which is also in her sketch. And then I came across these 3x4 cards in my stash. I think these are really old. Maybe they're from my mind's eye, I believe. I think they're from Indie Chick, but I could be wrong on that, which is a really old collection. Anyway, I am just cutting most of the orange off because I don't want to focus on the orange. I want to focus on the pink because my sweatshirt has like the pinky blues on it and purples. And so I wanted to just go with that. Wasn't sure which one of these kind of label looking ones that I was going to use. I end up using the one that has the thinner pink on it, and I like it a little bit better. It's a little bit more square than oval. And so also the weight of the outline is a little bit less. Hopefully that makes sense. Now I do have a bunch of pieces from MK's shop. You can see there's a wood veneer floral piece in the upper left hand corner right on top of the 3x4 card. I have 2 that are similar. They're not identical, but they're very similar. And so I'm going to use both of those. And then I have a pack of dragonflies and a pack of little flowers that look like the largest flower in that little cluster one that you can see in the sitting on top of the 3x4. So you're going to see me use all of those. I do use my not my Cricut. I don't have a Cricut. I use my silhouette to cut my title, which is just going to be Tomales Bay. And you can see that kind of over on the opposite side. And I cut it in white, and I used the same tan that I used underneath the sand to be my background. But the outline that I did is very, very light. I mean, very small, not light. It's very small, so it doesn't stand out a whole lot, which is okay. I could have made it stand out more by putting it on top of the sand and the photographs at the bottom, and you'll see me kind of test it there, and I quite like that look once I set it down and I saw it on camera. But I end up putting it up top here, and I know it's really hard to read there, but in person you can read it, and I wanted it to not really interfere with the photograph, and I felt like that space was a little bit blank up there, so I'm going to go ahead and put it up top and let it be very subtle. And I really like the look. It kind of keeps everything subtle and keeps the focus to the right and the left hand sides, other than the photos. So now I'm just going to start building my clusters on either side of my photographs, using all of the die cut pieces that I've already put together. The 2 sets of dies that I used for this, one is a small die of the month, which is the one that has the boots, and it has a bunch of foliage in it as well. That one is actually called Hiking Through the Meadows, and it was from September of 2023 from Spellbinders. Yeah, from Spellbinders. I bought it on a Spellbinders sale just in the fall, so in 2024. I don't know if they still have it or not, but it was available through the sale that I purchased it, because I am not a Die of the Month Club member, so they obviously were offering it after the fact. The other one that I am using is called Garden Builder, from Spellbinders as well, and it is designed by Annie Williams. So I will put a link to those down below if they're still available, or at least the name of them so that you can find them. The two pieces that have, oh, I don't know what those are called, but they, the ones at the very top of the screen sitting on top of the packs of wood veneer that you can see there that look kind of like, yeah, I don't even know what they're called. Kind of like wheat, but they're not wheat. Those are actually from a Tim Holtz for Sizzix die set, and I'll put the link for that down below as well. It's the only one I used out of that pack. Everything else is out of the Spellbinders packs. And so I really enjoyed doing this, aside from when my machine broke. And when it broke, it did not just stop cutting. I had to really work hard to get my dies out of it and to get the plates out of it. It just would not turn anymore. And I wasn't cutting anything huge. I was just cutting a piece of grass, basically. It was like the little grass cluster that has like, I don't know, 4 little shoots of grass on it. It was not like I had the boots in there and everything else. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt like it has been on its last leg anyway, so that's why I've been kind of thinking about getting the Stampin' Up! One. And so that is what I went ahead and invested in. I also did use these 2 little acrylic logs. You can see them in the bottom right hand corner by the photo of my dog by herself. Those are some acrylic logs that are from MK's shop as well. I think it comes with, I want to say 5, or I'm pretty sure it's 5 in a pack, but maybe it's more than that. I'm not really sure, but because I may have used these before. So I think I had at least 5 left in my pack, but they're really cool little logs, and I thought they went really perfectly with everything that I had going on in this layout, and I'm really happy with the way that they look. I use liquid glue to adhere everything down, aside from the wood veneer, which already comes adhesive backed. And I did not show you, but you do have to peel the top off of all of the wood veneer, because it does have a mask on it that keeps it protected when it's being cut in the machine. And so you have to take the time to peel that off so you can see the true color of the wood. You can actually use that mask to your benefit if you're going to ink up your wood or color your wood. You can kind of protect some areas while you're working on other areas before you do the peeling. I left mine natural, and that's what I do most of the time, just because I like the natural look of the wood. But you can definitely alter it with acrylic markers. You can put gesso on it and then watercolor on it. Yeah, there's quite a few ways to alter the look of your wood veneer. So don't think you have to keep it just natural looking. And MK's shop, actually, she's got wood in different colors for different things. So some of her wood is a little bit more red. Some of it is more of the color that I've got here. Some has a little bit of a gray look. So she's got lots of different options. So you can see the 3 little flowers that I just kind of scattered throughout the layout to bring in more of the wood veneer and to kind of echo the 2 wood veneer clusters that I've got that I'm placing down. And then I am going to add some dragonflies as well. And I think those end up looking super cute. Just, you know, we're out in the bay. This area is kind of has some marshlands around it as well. And I thought that the dragonflies went really well with these outdoor photos. So I'm really happy with the way that those came out. So you'll see those here in just a bit. While I work on that, and don't forget, there are a bunch of people playing along with 30 Days of Sketches, and you can find the link for that down below, so that you can check out the playlist and you can see all of the videos that have been released to date. I know I am behind on posting this one, so if you want to scroll back a little bit on that playlist, you're probably going to see a bunch of other inspiration using this same sketch from MK. And then I will also include the link to the Some Assemblage Required shop, as well as the products that I am using from her shop on today's layout, so that you can find those easily if they're of interest to you. So I did end up peeling, so the wood veneer comes adhesive backed already. I ended up peeling that off and then kind of very carefully setting those bigger clusters down and tucking things under, and letting the adhesive kind of hold the extra pieces or the die cut pieces in place. And then I kind of pulled them back up and removed the rest of the adhesive, and then stuck them down a little bit more forcefully so that they would not come off the page. But I kind of let that adhesive do the work for me, holding a lot of those pieces from the clusters. The ones that weren't held by that, I am just using my liquid glue to hold that down. And it's working out just fine. So I'm just trying to use up all of the little tiny flowers because I didn't see any point in hanging on to them and putting them in my stash when there's like 6 or 7 of them. It's probably not enough for me to use on any other layout. So I figured I would just go ahead and scatter those throughout my clusters. I do have quite a few more of the white flowers with the brown center, and then the ones that look like they are, the petals are falling backwards and the center is kind of pointed towards the sun. I have several more of those that I did not use on this layout, and I will put those back in my stash just because I had so many of them and they're a little bit larger. I felt like I could use those somewhere else, but the little tiny purple ones I did manage to scatter into this layout. And I love the way that it comes out. It's a lot of die cutting for me. I do love die cutting, but I don't normally go to these lengths to get all of this kind of die cuts on my page. But I think it came out great. I hope that you do too. The close-ups are coming up here in just a few moments, so stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching my channel and spending time with me today. I do really appreciate it. And hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this one. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. I will be back again real soon with another video. I'm a little bit behind on that, but hit the bell and you'll get notified when I release a new one. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon.